Morning all. I've got a new sleeping bag. This exuberant little number that I'm modelling here is the Rab Neutrino 400, and if you'll just bear with me while I extricate myself from its grip, I'll give you the grand tour. I'm not going to do a really in-depth technical review because up until now I've always used pretty cheap synthetic summer bags, so I've got nothing really to compare this to. I just know that after my last camping trip, when I spent the night curled up in the fetal position, shivering and cursing my life, I promised myself I should have an upgrade. And I found that the world of sleeping bags is quite a densely populated one, and you have to get your head around fill types and stitching patterns, shell materials, lining materials, temperature ratings, comfort gradients, weird phrases like footbox and neck baffle. And much as I love having a new piece of kit, I hate shopping. And in the end, I settled on the Rab, partly because it does seem to strike a really good balance between volume and weight and insulation, but also partly because it was on sale and I like the colour. Now it arrives in a great big white bag like this. This is purely for home storage. This is just about keeps it all under control without crushing and damaging the fill too much while it's in storage. When you want to take it out on a trip, it comes with this seemingly very well put together stuff sack. There's a little internal kind of drawstring closure in there. I don't like to use the word sphincter, but I might have to, which clamps shut like that. And then of course, because this is a down bag and you don't want it to get wet, this whole thing is waterproof and seals up just like any standard dry bag. Roll, 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 get the air out. Roll, 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 and then clip shut. There you go. That stuff's down to a very small and manageable size. I have actually gone one step further and bought an extra compression sack which goes even smaller. Now, this bag isn't waterproof, but when I'm out on my bike, I keep all my camping gear in a big old dry bag anyway. So I just figured this is a place where I could shave off a few grams and really pack this thing down to the smallest volume I can get it. Look at that. That is tiny. I've taken pills bigger than that. Any denser and this neutrino will become a black hole. Topical science pun there, I'm afraid. Terribly sorry. Unlike a black hole, the Rab Neutrino is pretty light. The actual weight, I'm not 100% sure. On the website it says 775 grams. On the actual bag it says 805 grams. Either way, it's in that kind of area, which is not bad. That's barely even going to warp space-time. Other pertinent features, the price. Rab listed it at £335. As you can see, I got it slightly cheaper on sale. And to be honest, after looking around online, I think you'd be a fool to pay more than that sale price for it. You'll probably get it for even less, actually, if you shop about a bit. The temperature rating, its comfort zone is 2.5 degrees down to -3 degrees centigrade, and it has an extreme rating of -20, which I believe is the temperature at which a healthy adult male can survive the night curled up into a ball kind of thing. It's not going to be a pleasant experience, but you might not die. Build wise, it's got a nearly full length zip, maybe 4/5 length. This opens from both ends in case you need to get some airflow and ventilation going and things. Nice big spacious hood. In the back of here you've got this built up neck baffle piece, which is just to help keep that warm air from escaping out around your neck and keep it down around your core, keep you warm on those extreme nights. There is also a little pocket in here which is just about big enough for a mobile phone or a passport or something like that, I guess. And the hood all cinches up shut with this drawstring here. Something which is definitely a bonus over my old bag is this taping on the inside of the zip, just to stop the liner getting snagged inside the zip, which is something I've experienced only too many times on my cheap old bags. That's nice, I'll definitely be appreciating that. So yeah, that's about all I've got for you for this part of the video. I'm not an expert on sleeping bags, as I said, but I really think that the proof of the pudding is always in the eating. So I'm on my way over to visit my brother at the moment. When I get there, I'm going to pitch my tent in the garden, and tonight I'm going to sleep in this bad boy and see how that goes. So in the morning I will finish this video with a little report on how it was to sleep in for the first night and how many extremities I lost to the cold. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I'll see you later. Just one last thing before you go. I just want to talk about this very quickly. This is the responsible down standard. This sleeping bag is filled with down. Down comes from ducks and geese, and historically there have been some rather unpleasant stories about the duck and goose down industry. The responsible down standard is a scheme that producers and manufacturers sign up to that apparently guarantees the down in this product was not live plucked from animals, and the geese it came from weren't force fed to swell their livers up for foie gras. This is a good thing. I know there are questions about how well you can actually track down from farm to sleeping bag. I'm sure it's not a perfect system, and I'm sure there are lots of people out there who still think it's deeply immoral. I mean, I'm under no illusions. I know these animals were farmed, and even if they weren't live plucked and foie gras, they were almost definitely slaughtered for meat at the end of their lives. But then, I'm not a vegetarian, although I dally on the edge. I try to let my morals and my understanding of environmental and animal welfare issues kind of guide my purchasing on most things, but it is incredibly complicated. I'm not qualified to stack up the environmental impact of duck and goose farming against the environmental impact of pulling oil out of the ground to make synthetic fillers, which are almost definitely going to break down into microplastics and one day end up clogging the esophagus of a dolphin anyway. It's a very, very complicated issue. I don't even really know what I'm trying to say, other than that I don't want to shy away from the fact that there is dead animal stuff in that bag, and I know some people feel very passionately about this, and I genuinely don't know what the answer is or what the best way of dealing with it is. If you have thoughts on this, honestly, leave a comment. I mean, if you can avoid being a flaming ranty troll and actually make some good points, that would be cool, because it is something I'm interested in, and I know a lot of people, you know, close friends who are vegans and feel very passionately about all of this, and it's a good discussion to have, I think. And what better place to have it than the YouTube comments? So Anyway, if you have any thoughts on down versus synthetic and on the responsible down standard, yeah, leave a comment. I'd be very interested to hear about it all. Anyway, I'm burbling. This is a deep philosophical and moral point that cleverer people than me have probably discussed at greater lengths and still not come to an answer. So I'm going to carry on with the original plan. I'm going to go and pitch my tent. So it's about 1:30 in the morning. I've had a few beers and a curry, and now I'm heading to bed. It's cold. Forecast says it's going to be down to -2 in the night. There's already some frost forming on the tent, so I think this is actually going to turn out to be quite a good test of this new sleeping bag, as that's kind of down near the bottom of what it's rated for, so it's going to be interesting. Anyway, I'm going to try and get some sleep. We'll see how it all goes. I will report back in the morning. Good night.
Morning. I survived the night. I actually survived the night in very great comfort and warmth. But now, in true camping style, the sun's come up and it's hit the tent and the temperature's rising by about 1,000 degrees a minute. So I've got to get out of here or I'm going to broil myself in this bag. Getting up.
I'm on my way home now. I've just stopped to do a quick summary of the evening. I don't know if you could see in the videos, but there was frost on the tent when I went out last night, and there was frost on the grass when I woke up this morning. The local weather said the temperature got down to about -2 or -3, so it's pretty chilly. I slept toasty warm through it all. In fact, I slept a little bit too warm because I didn't know what to expect, new stuff. I had a fleece liner in the bag as well, and I went to bed in socks, long johns, base layer and a hat, which was all overkill in retrospect, and I woke up pretty sweaty. I had cold feet and cold legs when I got into bed, and in my old bag that would have meant cold feet and cold legs all night. But in this one, you get that lovely feeling of getting in a bit cold and then slowly warming up, which is just delicious. The bag itself feels quite spacious compared to my old bag, especially the hood. It feels really airy and really comfy. Even when you cinch it right down, it doesn't feel claustrophobic or like it's squeezing you at all, which is great. The opening at the neck is really big as well, big enough that you can get in and out without having to do the zip, which is really useful. And I slept with my phone in the little neck pocket just to see whether it would be uncomfortable, but it's not at all. It's very well positioned, so I think it would only be a problem if you literally passed out on your face. Then it might dig into you a bit. But if you sleep on your back or on your side or kind of halfway between like I do, then yeah, it won't be a problem. You could definitely fill that pocket up without issue. So all in all, I'm really, really pleased with my new sleeping bag. And I think if you're in the market for a new one and you've been looking at the Rab Neutrino 400 and umming and ahhing, I can definitely give you a nudge towards it and tell you that it does work and it does do everything that you're probably hoping it would do. So that's kind of that really. I will put some affiliate links down in the description to the bag, the stuff sack, whatever else I've talked about, I can't remember. Click them if you want to. If you don't, happy camping all. See you in the forest.